Meanwhile, a custodian at the school now says that he warned the university about the suspected shooter several times before the attack. Fox's Todd Piro continues our coverage.
The school has hired the former U.S. Attorney for the District of Rhode Island to represent them in possible cases. This all comes as the Department of Education announces it is launching its own review of the school's security systems and whether officials properly notified students after the deadly shooting. Police continue to search for a possible motive behind this attack and the linked murder of an MIT professor about 50 miles away in Massachusetts.
The Federal Communications Commission says it will ban new foreign-made drones, a move that will keep new Chinese-made drones out of the U.S. market. Chinese-made drones have become a dominant player in the U.S., widely used in farming, mapping, law enforcement, and filmmaking. The FCC says a review found that all drones and critical components produced in foreign countries, not just by Chinese companies, posed what the Federal Communications Commission calls unacceptable risks to the national security of the United States and to the safety and security of U.S. persons. A national defense analyst believes Republicans are apathetic heading into the 2026 midterms, and as AFN's Chad Groening reports, she says Democrats have a head start.
Republicans cling to a very narrow margin in the House of Representatives. The stakes next year have never been higher. If Democrats take control of the House, President Trump's second term will be bogged down by another impeachment. There will be endless hearings aimed at taking down the administration, and the president will be unable to get funding for his MAGA agenda. Brigitte Gabriel is founder and president of Act for America and author of Rise. She says the GOP is not getting ready for 2026.
The problem on the Republican conservative side is apathy. The message that I got from across the country, from sea to shining sea, was, oh, we're not worried about it. President Trump is going to fix it. This is not an election year. We're going to take a break this year. We worked hard last year.
Gabrielle says there's a difference with Democrats.
The Democrats, if they lose, they double down. If they win the election, the next day is a rah day to get their troops organized.
Gabrielle says Democrats have a head start for 2026.
The Republicans start working 6 months before an election, while the Democrats will have 6 months head start of vicious fighting command and network nationwide with their people ready to go to support to make sure they win in the midterm. This is why we need to wake up. We need to organize.
I'm Chad Groening.
America Fest continues to have people talking. The annual event put on in Arizona by Turning Point USA wrapped over the weekend, and many people are talking about the speeches from Vice President J.D. Vance, Allie Beth Stuckey, Ben Shapiro, and Erica Kirk. Here's Riley Gaines on Fox and Friends.
The message that she had specifically for young women and the idea of marriage, how she told women, look, you're not your husband's servant. You're not your husband's slave. You are one as together as one flesh. In that moment, I realized that Erica Kirk is going to do for young women exactly what Charlie Kirk did for young men. We're living in this time, of course, where young women, I believe, are rejecting a movement that just simply doesn't represent them anymore. And you think of the things that Charlie left behind as his mission, now his legacy. Get married, have children, build a legacy, pass down your values, pursue the eternal, seek true joy. These are all things in this cultural moment that we're living in that appeal to young women. Of course, we saw the attendance at AmFest, the crowd there, the reception there. It was amazing. But I've been on about 10 campuses this past semester, high school campuses and college campuses. And what I'm seeing specifically from young women is that they're engaged, they are curious, and they are fed up with being told what to think.
In final news, U.S. regulators have approved a pill version of the weight loss drug Wegovy. That's all our time for now. Find more news on AFN.net. Like us on Facebook, follow us on X, and subscribe to our free daily email news briefs on AFN.net.
As we watch world events unfold and fulfill Scripture, it's hard to believe anyone could doubt God and His Word are real. And yet there are so many who either question or completely refuse to believe it. The God Who Speaks is a 90-minute documentary that hits the doubt head-on with evidence that proves God is real and His Word is the ultimate authority. Watch it anytime and invite others to watch with you. Just visit stream.afa.net. That's stream.afa.net.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildman. president of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. It's Tuesday, December the 23rd, 2025. And again, we appreciate you joining us today. I'm Tim with Fred Jackson. Good morning, Brother Fred.
Good morning to you, Tim.
Chris Woodward.
Good morning.
And Ray Pritchard. Ray Pritchard's joining us. Used to join us from Kansas City, Kansas. Now he's joining us from sunny Florida. How you doing, Ray?
Hey, I'm doing great, Tim. It's 75, 76 degrees down here.
Yeah.
All is well.
We're going to quit asking you about January. Although I will say right now, I don't know how much of the country's experiencing this, but we're 70 today.
Yeah.
In Tupelo.
Yes. And we're going to enjoy the next 3 or 4 days at that temp.
Yeah, and then it goes.
Then it all falls apart.
Yeah, okay.
So, no white Christmas for Tupelo this year?
No.
No.
I only remember one in my lifetime. That was like 10 years ago, something like that.
That was a good snowfall too.
Yeah. Whopping inch or two.
No, it was legit snow.
Yeah, that's legit snow for us, though, isn't it?
Well, I mean, like the quality of it, and we got a lot where I lived.
Yeah, well, I just know that if we hit 3 inches, we get to call out the National Guard.
Yeah.
Oh, me. Okay, well, we hope you have nice weather wherever you live, and I know that, you got to go through the winter to appreciate the summer is what they say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who said that, but how wrong they were. But all right, so a lot to talk about today on the program. Ray is with us, Fred and Chris. We don't have any guests today, so it's just going to be us four. And then we got Steve Paisley Jordahl will come over and talk to us coming up in about an hour. I read a very impressive email. It was a press release from the governor of the state of Arkansas.
Yes.
And read it last night, and Ray sent it to us. You got it.
Yeah, and someone from Arkansas, a member of our family lives in Little Rock, said, hey, you need to read this. And I got to say, I already loved Sarah Huckabee-Sanders. Already did, Tim. But I loved her 10 times more when I read the letter she wrote back to the Freedom from Religion Foundation.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, let me set this up for folks so they understand the context here. You remember the ACLU? They used to be very prominent. They're not as prominent as they once were, but they were always attacking Christians, and they were always, claiming that we were trying to violate separation of church and state, and so forth and so on. Well, there's another organization called the Freedom from Religion. Isn't that what they're called? Freedom from Religion Foundation. They're a relatively small outfit, but I think they're out of Wisconsin. Is that true?
They are.
Okay.
Yep.
But they're separation church and state left wingers, and they're always looking to try to, any kind of expression, especially of Christianity, in the public square. They try to, if they can, squelch.
Yeah.
I remember they were the ones who went after high schools for having prayer before football games. You remember this when this was on the news 15, 20 years ago? All right, so they're called the Freedom from Religion Foundation. They are bah humbuggers, okay, at Christmas time. They're bah humbuggers. And so Sarah Huckabee-Sanders, the governor of Arkansas, got a letter from this organization the other day, and they were upset with her all right, Chris, you take over the story now.
Yes. So they were upset with her. They took issue with her for closing state offices to celebrate Christmas, and they sent a letter demanding that Sarah Sanders rescind the proclamation. Sarah Sanders responded saying, Christmas isn't just a holiday, it's the celebration of Jesus Christ's birth. Meaning matters. We won't pretend otherwise. And she went on to write them a letter back sharing her two thoughts. And matter of fact,
read some of it.
Okay. Earlier this week, I issued a proclamation closing state offices on Friday, December 26th to celebrate Christmas and offer state employees more time with their families. I am in receipt of a letter from your organization calling on me to rescind that proclamation because it, quote, gives a detailed theological narrative presenting one Christian narrative, including the divinity of Jesus Christ, his crucifixion for the sins of mankind, his resurrection, and his anticipated return in glory. Please know that I will do no such thing.
Okay, the quotes, it's hard to understand in a letter like that exactly, but what she's saying, they're saying, okay, she signed a proclamation celebrating Christmas and letting state employees off
for the Friday, the day after.
Friday, the day after Christmas, December the 26th. They got mad. It's Freedom from Religion Foundation, Ray. They pitched a little hissy fit, and they wrote her and said, you got to stop this. You're violating church and state, so forth, so on. Mm-hmm. And she wrote them back and said, I'm not stopping it. And furthermore, she went on to say she wished them a Merry Christmas, and that anyway, she's not backing down on this one iota, Ray.
You know, for too long, Christians, including Christians in places of power and authority, like the governorship, have backed down under pressure from groups like Freedom from Religion.
Right.
She said, in 2 words, she said, pound sand, boys. We're not going to back down.
That was 3 words, but go ahead.
That's right, pound sand. And then I added boys.
Yeah.
Essentially, she did what Christians ought to do. She reaffirmed her faith. She said what she believed and why she believed it. And she said, sorry, but we're not going to change anything. God bless her for taking that kind of stand.
Okay, so, yeah, congratulations. And we are proud of Sarah Huckabee-Sanders. She's our governor today. She's governor of Arkansas. Where can people read this letter?
Yes, I posted it just now on our Today's Issues Facebook page. So go to the Today's Issues Facebook page.
Okay, and it is making national news.
It is.
So
good.
Anyway.
But you know, here's how God works. He took the testimony that Sarah Huckabee-Sanders put out there, and people now are talking about it, thanks to the Freedom from Religion Foundation, and now it's gone public. And more people are going to read the real reason for Christmas.
Yes.
Well, I know even the atheists who work for the state of Arkansas, and there are 5 of them, appreciate having off on Friday.
Exactly.
Sure, yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I will tell you this,
Gives them a 4-day holiday. Yeah, go ahead.
For people that have listened to AFN or follow us online through our print service, we have done an FFRF story pretty much once every other week.
That's Freedom from Religion Foundation.
The Freedom from Religion Foundation. They always send these little hissy fit letters, and groups like First Liberty Institute will tell you, much like Ray said, go pound sand. There's nothing you can complain about here.
Well, I just remember they I don't know if they still do or not, but they went on this search and destroy mission for high schools all across the country 10 years ago. And what would happen, they would find out whether or not a high school had a prayer before a football game.
Yeah.
And if they did, they'd write them a letter, and they said, we're going to sue you if you do this anymore. Well, a lot of the schools had administrators that got all worried if they got a letter like this, and they had maybe a lawyer, and they said, hey, you got to cut it out. It's a violation of separation of church and state. And so they stopped doing it. But a secret is, Fred, a lot of them have gone back.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell the Freedom from Religion Foundation, but a lot of schools have gone back to having the traditional prayer before the high school football games on Friday night.
I graduated high school in this century, and
yeah, no, yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I did, and we said the Lord's Prayer in the band hall before we went out there on Friday nights, and I went to a public school.
Is that because y'all didn't want to blow it, or
is
that because you really meant it?
I'm just saying we did have a prayer before we went out there.
Lord help us, don't embarrass our families with our sound.
We hit the snare drum just right, Lord.
Help us not to lose too badly.
Well, you know,
That's right.
I don't think that was the prayer I ever heard.
Prayer
Fred.
granted.
I think. Wait, listen. Most public prayers are just acknowledgments of God.
Yes,
okay?
That's right.
And that's been our tradition in America since our founding. We have publicly acknowledged God Almighty, and oftentimes specifically the Christian Jesus Christ. So anyway, good for Sarah Huckabee-Sanders. All right, Ray, what about this? How's this sound? A Vance Sanders ticket.
Oh, come on now. I mean,
All right.
the evangelicals
Yeah.
would. I mean, if we voted 80%, we'd vote 90% for
Yeah.
that ticket.
Yeah.
I think that's a winner.
What a good idea.
JD, remember what you heard here first, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll happen or not. I don't even know if Sarah Huckabee-Sanders would be interested. I don't know what the relationship is between J.D. Vance, the current VP, and
How old is she?
you don't ask a woman that, Ray.
I'll look
but,
it up.
I bet
you
Google
can look it
knows.
up on the internet.
I don't want to ask her that. I just want to find out.
I'm guessing. I'm gonna guess she's 50, 49.
We're the same age.
What?
43.
Okay.
JD Vance,
pretty
by the
young.
way, is 40,
Okay.
41, somewhere around
She's
there.
That would make
43.
her older than JD, right? Yeah, okay.
Not
Yeah.
that there's anything
Well,
wrong with it.
Okay,
No,
first of
not
all,
that there is.
first of all, I retract my 49 or 50 statement. I don't know where that came
Just
from.
a joke, Sarah.
Yes, I did not mean to suggest
No.
she appears to be that age. I was just guessing. off the top of my
She is
head.
a strong leader, right?
Yes.
She predicts
Oh, yeah.
confidence.
Yeah. She's the first time. Is she?
She's in her first
term.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, her daddy's Mike Huckabee.
Yeah.
Chip
former
off the
governor.
old block, as
Yeah.
they say.
Yeah.
Mm.
So let me ask you this. She's 43. J.D. Vance, he's 43, right?
He's not
44.
quite
He's
that old.
not funny. He's not
He's
that
actually a little bit younger than
Is
me. He's 41. This is the first time in my lifetime that somebody in the executive branch, like that high,
Yeah.
in the executive branch is younger than me.
old. Is
Okay.
he the youngest vice president ever?
I don't think so.
Well, probably back in the 1800s, where people didn't live very long.
Right.
Okay.
You're probably going to have some guys in their 30s.
Now, according to the internet, the youngest vice president in U.S. history is a guy named John Cable Breckinridge,
Yes,
who
that's
took office back in 1857 at the age of 36. But, by the way, he served under President James Buchanan. But here's where you don't always believe what you see on the internet, because in this Google search, under John Cable Breckinridge is a picture of Richard M. Nixon.
I was
So
going to say, boy, he looks
Search
a lot
with
like
colors.
Richard Nixon.
they had color photos in 1857.
That's a little bit of a mistake, I guess.
So Breckinridge was whose VP?
James Buchanan,
And he was 30 what?
36.
He's just a kid.
He was barely old enough to be president, if it came to it.
And when was that, in the 1800s?
1857.
All right. So there you go. A modern day, I would say, I'm going to say Dan Quayle
Yeah.
was probably in his early 40s. I'm just guessing.
Let me see. Nixon was fairly young when he was VP back in the 50s. Let's see.
Who was he VP for, Fred?
Eisenhower. Oh, I'm sorry.
Eisenhower?
Winter.
Richard Nixon, was he VP? Who's he VP for?
Oh, that's right. Dwight Eisenhower.
Dwight Eisenhower?
Stick with me. I'll teach you something, Tim.
Well, I knew he was the governor of California, Richard Nixon, but I had forgotten he was Eisenhower's VP. All right, you're listening to today's Issues on American Family Radio. Speaking of who the next presidential candidates will be, on the Republican side, there was a poll taken at Turning Point USA's National Convention. What do they call that?
Straw poll?
Amfest.
Well,
America Fest.
yeah, America. That's what they call it. It's Charlie Kirk's organization, and Erica Kirk is hosting, obviously, because Charlie was killed this year. So she's hosting this in Phoenix. There's 4,000 people, something like that.
No, 30,000 people came out for this.
Yeah, it was a record.
Yeah. For this event last weekend.
Are you guys sure about that?
Yeah, that's what was reported.
30,000 people. Where are they hosting this? In the Coliseum?
It was at the, I think it's in the event, the same arena where the Phoenix Suns play.
Okay, well, anyway, thousands of people there, and a straw poll was taken among, and these are These are conservatives. These are probably mostly Christians, probably people like us.
And a lot of young people.
Yeah. And so they took a poll, a straw poll, as you say, Chris, to decide among those attendees to see who they favored to be the Republican nominee for president in 3 years, 2 years, whenever all that starts. And what were the findings?
J.D. Vance won by a lot. Vice President J.D. Vance won by a lot. Matter of fact, if you were to combine the two people closest to him, those being Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, both of them together still wouldn't come close to Vance.
Right.
Vance led the pack with, by far, he had 84.2% of the vote. Rubio came in second with 4.8%, and DeSantis scored 2.9%.
Okay, so J.D. Vance, Fred, far and away the choice among. Of course, you would think that he's the vice president, right?
Yeah, he has a high profile.
Right.
He spoke at the event. He was the big speaker of the event.
Yeah.
He is liked by the young people. Yesterday on this program, we played a little montage of some of the young people that were attending there. They believe that he is a Donald Trump next generation, and they like what Donald Trump is doing, his policies, and they see him as carrying on that agenda.
Yeah. By the way, you're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Tim, Fred, Chris, and Ray. Ray, what do you think about J.D. Vance? Appears to be, smart enough.
He's got the youth factor on his side.
Yeah, he
Young
does.
people are just attracted to him. Number two, he's very well spoken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we've talked about his life story.
Yeah.
And what's the name of the book?
Hillbilly Elegy. I've got it on my desk. I hadn't read it yet. I'm going to read it.
I have read it. It is a tremendous story. Okay. So, from a very difficult beginning, rising up through the Marines, to the Senate, to becoming vice president. It's a true American story. Uh-huh. And the other thing, I watched him when he and Erica and the others, they were at that TPUSA event at Ole Miss back, a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. He was bold. Yeah. He was clear.
Yeah.
He took questions from the audience, which not many candidates would dare to do. He's really comfortable in his own skin.
Yeah.
A very interesting family background. So I see his age is an issue, okay, and that will be to some degree. They'll throw that up at him, but I think he's a very attractive candidate. And you know what, Tim? I don't see anybody on the Republican side today that could beat him.
I don't either. In fact, I'm just looking ahead. He might go unchallenged. I know that sounds crazy because usually there's 7, 8, 9 challengers on Democrat or the Republican side. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong about that. We'll wait and see. I don't think Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, he said publicly that if J.D. Vance runs, he won't run against him in the Republican primary. They're pretty close friends. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, I don't. He will. He's not going to overtake Vance. Okay, so I don't think he'll run. He knows that. He tried to go against Trump last time, and that didn't work out. So I think Governor DeSantis, I think he has a future. Governor DeSantis is a conservative rock star. Okay, he's done as much in Florida as you can possibly do to advance limited government and conservative causes. He's a stalwart, but he's going to. But he'll probably end up in J.D. Vance's administration on a high level, like a cabinet position. Yep. Secretary of War, or what they call it now, or something of that nature. We're just speculating here. But there was some mention of Ted Cruz, the senator from Texas, maybe throwing his hat in the ring. I don't think he could beat Vance. I think that would be a mistake. I love Ted Cruz, but I don't think he could beat Vance. And you know what? The Republicans could save a lot of time, energy, and money if they just rallied behind Vance and didn't make him go through a primary season that wasted a lot of money and time and energy. That's my thought.
The media would feed off that.
Go
In the way of contrast, I was just looking at a poll this morning on the Democrat side.
Yeah.
And right now, Governor Newsom of California is, again, way out in front of the nearest competition, Kamala Harris, AOC.
They're going to have to come up with somebody better.
Yeah. But he's leading the pack right now of what they think Newsom is. Mm-hmm. Now, can you imagine the contrast? It's going to be so clear for the American people. Gavin Newsom or J.D. Vance?
All right, let me again speculate. Look into my crystal ball.
Okay.
I don't think we're Christians supposed to do that, are we, Ray?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, anyway,
we say read the tea leaves all the time.
That's metaphoric.
I can look into a metaphoric crystal ball,
right.
can I?
That's right.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
So I'm looking. I'm seeing. Here are your three people that I think right now could win. Would provide the best shot for Democrats. The governor of Pennsylvania.
Yes.
What is his name?
Josh Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro.
Mm-hmm.
He would be very formidable.
Yep.
And then you've got the governor of Maryland. What's his name? I know these people, but I can't. I know their faces, but I can't necessarily remember their name.
Governor of Maryland is Wes Moore.
Okay, Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, and then you've got governor of Michigan. I don't think she's
Gretchen.
dead. I don't think she's dead in the water.
Gretchen Whitmer.
I could see her actually having a pretty successful primary.
Yeah.
campaign.
So those three governors, I think, would be the best chance for the Democrats.
We might very well have a President Kamala Harris today had she picked Josh Shapiro to be her running
agree.
mate and not
She
the other guy.
probably would have won Pennsylvania. That'd have been gone
which she needed to. Speaking of Governor Shapiro, I'm not making this up.
Is it Shapiro, or are you putting the Southern
Shapiro
spin on that?
Shapiro.
Okay, Shapiro.
All right. He's actually one of the people that Axios thinks may try to run in 2028, to the point that he is supposedly changing his appearance to try to appeal to a broader base of voters. I have posted this story on our page.
Well, what did he do?
All right. According to Axios, Governor Shapiro's suits are more tailored now and modern, but not too flashy, because that was one of the reasons why Harris did not pick him. She was afraid he would overshadow her.
Because of his suits?
Yes.
Did
Meanwhile,
he pick him because of his suits?
She's so deep.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
she's so deep.
Illinois Governor Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has lost weight, fueling speculation that he's going to run in 2028. And I'm not making this up, Tim. Pete Buttigieg, who did run for president a couple of elections ago, grew a beard to try to appeal to a broader base of people.
Well, you vote for him? You got a beard?
No, I would not vote for him.
Okay. Just because he has a beard doesn't mean he gets the beard vote.
That's right.
Amen.
Okay. I would say, listen, I think it's going to be a Donnybrook in the Democrats, on the Democrat side.
Yeah.
I think all those names you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And Alexandria
Ocasio-Cortez.
I think she's going to probably throw her hat in the ring.
Don't rule out Mamdani. The people that think he raised the son.
That's his first name.
Zoran Mamdani. I mean, he hasn't even served yet. People are going to give him another office.
Yeah. Of course, Bernie Sanders, he'll be 106, but I think he might run again.
I have a message. I have a plan.
I'm still alive.
Right. That's the plan.
Vote for me. I'm still alive.
Oligarch.
All right, we're going to take a break right here for a couple minutes, and we will be back with more of today's issues on the American Family Radio Network.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildman.
Let me ask you a question. Did you ever want to quit? Did you ever want to hang 'em up and call it a game? If you haven't, then you aren't normal. Every normal person has periods when he's ready to throw in the towel. Several years ago, I charted a course for my life. I chose what I believed to be the highest and truest way of living. I gave myself to it, and I have pursued it. But there have been times when I have wanted to quit, to call it a game and hang up the togs. Quitting is tempting because it's easier. You know, when you get knocked down time and again, it's hard to get up and go another time. When it seems as though you're behind and can never catch up, it's awful hard to keep trying. Life is tremendously demanding if a person pledges himself to the best he knows. It becomes so difficult sometimes that the temptation to give up is very strong. The benefits of giving up seem appealing and attractive. I can understand why some people have given up. They grew tired of following their highest dream, and then they started demanding less and less of themselves. Finally, the dream was no more. A person needs a solid foundation if he attempts to follow the highest and best he knows, because when the storms of doubt and despair blast against our structure, it will crumble like dust if there isn't something solid underneath. As I write this, I'm tempted to give up, to quit on the direction I chose some years back. All the advantages of giving up are looming out before me like water to a person dying of thirst. How strong the desire to quit. But I will not quit. I can't, because I know that nothing worthwhile can be accomplished by quitting. I will never accomplish all I would like to, but I will accomplish nothing if I give up. And back there when I made my decision, I wasn't promised peaches and cream. The one I follow was crucified. Why did I think following him should be easy? No, I made my vow to be faithful. And that's all he desires of me. Not to be successful, not to be popular. One thing he desires of me, to be faithful. And you know, I can do that. I can be faithful. I can hang in there and give the best I have. I will be a better person by doing that, and stronger. And by doing so, I can help another who is struggling to stay above water. Quit? Sure, I want to quit. How easy life would be if I just call it a game and run away. But I will not do that, no matter how great the temptation. He is depending on me to be faithful. And that's the one thing I can and will do. I will not disappoint him. I will be faithful. So, give me a drink of the living water. I'm ready to get back into the game of life.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildman, a production of the American Family Association.
We give thanks to God always for all of you, constantly mentioning you in our prayers, remembering before our God and Father your work of faith and labor of love and steadfastness of hope in our Lord Jesus Christ. 1 Thessalonians 1:3.
American Family Radio. This is today's issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of today's issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of today's issues.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. I'm Tim with Fred and Chris and Ray. We hope you're getting ready for a big Christmas, which is 2 days from now. By the way, we are going to start Christmas. Brent, if you don't mind, pull the microphone up. Brent Creeley, our producer, a man of high intelligence and great character, but rarely speaks here on the program. What do we got coming up on AFR?
Starting Wednesday at 12 a.m., we will have Christmas music, wall-to-wall Christmas music, until Saturday morning at 12 a.m.
So midnight?
Midnight, yes, sir.
So midnight tomorrow, Christmas Eve.
True, yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Midnight tomorrow through midnight Saturday.
Saturday, yes.
So 3 days.
Yes, that's correct.
So 3 days. So when you tune in the radio to listen to American Family Radio, you're going to hear Christmas music.
That's true, yes, sir.
Okay, for 3 days, because we're going to pause ourselves. Our studios and offices are closed. Our staff is with their families like you're with yours, so there's nobody here. There's nobody here to do any radio, so we'll be playing music for 3 days. So enjoy that, And who doesn't like Christmas music, right?
That's right.
Fred?
That's right. It's a special time of the year, and it really kind of sets the environment that we can enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's, as you were saying yesterday, Tim, it is really solid, good Christmas music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, Ray. You got a big family. Y'all spread out all over the country. I guess y'all try to get together maybe once a year. You can't probably always get together at Christmas, can you?
It has been a while since we've been able to get everybody together at Christmas because we've got a son who pastors in Missoula, Montana, and they always want the pastor around at Christmas time, right?
That's true.
And then we've got another branch of the family. Our youngest son is up in Chicago, and our oldest son is there in the Kansas City area. We sort of look at it now as if we can get 2 out of the 3 branches together.
That's a pretty good batting average, huh?
That's right. That's a pretty good average for us. Yeah.
Hey, Ray, I'm going to make a prediction. Now that you and your wife are living in Florida, the urge to get together with you during the winter months is just going to...
They're going to become... Right. It's
Right.
freezing cold up in Missoula. Son, if you're listening up there in Missoula, come on down to Florida. It's sunny and warm down here.
They're measuring snow in Missoula right now in feet. Not inches.
We got one of our staff here I talked to. He's flying up there.
To Montana?
That's what I said.
Best of luck.
Why?
Well, they've got, I don't know if it's, I think they want to enjoy the, I know you're
there
laughing.
you go.
They want to enjoy 3 feet of snow, Fred. Who doesn't?
That's right. Who doesn't, right?
Anyway, I don't know. They got, there's a lodge or something they're going to, and maybe do a little snow skiing or something. I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. Parts of Montana and Idaho and in that area there, Pacific, about to get bombarded.
Yeah,
with
Washington State.
It's happening now.
Wyoming,
right?
yes, it has been happening, and south of that is rain.
That atmospheric river is moving from west to east. Yeah.
Yeah. If you had a foot of snow here, and of course you wouldn't have it in Florida, but if you had it here where we live,
end of the world.
Which we do. We will get a snow probably in January. Get 1, maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
2, 4, 6, maybe 6 inches. You get a foot. They'd be reading about us in history books.
Yes.
Like 100 years from now, we have.
There once was a place called Tupelo.
Yes,
be like Vesuvius.
And they were here. We have uncovered real people lived there, but there came a snowstorm of 10 inches, and they disappeared. All right, so you're listening to Today's Issues. Hey, there's also a good news story out of Oklahoma, right?
Yes. Yeah, this is a story that we've been tracking for a while on AFN.net. It involves a college student in Oklahoma that got a 0 grade because she was asked to share her opinion on an essay that involved gender and sexuality. She got a 0 for that, and the teaching assistant that was behind this whole project is now gone. As a result of the uproar that started over this. We've done these stories here.
What did she do wrong, supposedly? This is a student at the University of Oklahoma in Norman, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's going to class. The professor asked her to write something about what? What was the subject matter?
It was an essay about like gender and sexuality.
Okay, so she wrote an essay on gender and sexuality, and she basically gave him read the traditional or Christian worldview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she referenced the Bible.
Yeah. So he gave her an F, right?
Yep.
Or a 0.
0.
Professor gave her a 0.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Because she didn't give him the left wing version of what he wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she spoke out about it. This student did, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fred, is that what? Tell us what.
Yeah, her name is Samantha Folnecki, and she went public with this. What happened? And the university, to its credit, reacted very quickly. I think they suspended him first, Chris, and now they have fired him. So it's freedom of speech.
Imagine if she wouldn't have stood up though and voiced a complaint.
Yes,
this would have gone tolerated.
Yeah, this is we're seeing stories like this, and it is encouraging.
Yeah,
we see young people.
Yeah,
young people being willing to take a stand. You can factor in the Charlie Kirk effect on young people out there, Go out there, speak up. Don't be ashamed. You're a Christian. Speak out, because God can use your testimony. It's exactly what Samantha did. Congratulations, Samantha, for what you did, and continue to use your testimony.
Yeah.
Where do we have this story, Chris?
I posted it on our Today's Issues Facebook page, and we'll follow it up with afn.net. I found the title of the project, and it again involves gender issues. The title of the project was Relations Among Gender Typicality, Peer Relations, and Mental Health During Early Adolescence.
Well, that ought to be banned just because of too many words.
That's right.
Okay. So that was the paper that the students were supposed to write on.
Yes.
This guy. The student's name is Samantha Fulnecky, Fulnecky, junior at the University of Oklahoma in Norman, and good for her. She spoke up, and because this was unfair, what was done to her, and that she basically was persecuted because of her Christian beliefs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And at least the University of Oklahoma did the right thing here.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, you can't do that to this, is it a professor or assistant professor?
It's a teaching assistant is how it's been used.
And they fired him.
Phrased.
She went to the book of Genesis in her paper, in which God created men and women equally, but with separate purposes. Here's what she wrote, part of what she wrote. Gender roles and tendencies should not be considered stereotypes, Fulnecky wrote in her essay. Women naturally want to do womanly things because God created us with those womanly desires in our hearts. The same goes for men. God created men in the image of his courage and strength, and he created women in the image of his beauty. He intentionally created women differently than men, and we should live our lives with that in mind. She's a junior. She's, 21 years old?
So he gave her a 0 for that, huh?
Gave her a 0 for that.
Yeah, for what you just said, which is the way the world has believed since time began.
Yes, God's design.
This modern day, this modern day movement of gender confusion is just it's new.
Yeah,
and nobody in the world, any world religions accepted this idea that men and women are different.
Right.
Even back 20 or 30 years ago, if you had said, well, men can become women and women can become men, you'd be mocked even by the liberals back then. They would say, you're a flat earther. You don't believe in biological science.
You want to see something funny, and this will probably happen with the Democrats in the next presidential race. Ask a Democrat, can a man have a baby?
Yes.
Right? You just ask a Democrat in a race, can a man, that's all you got to ask them. Can a man have a baby? And then put the microphone.
And watch them stutter.
Watch them stutter.
Or say nothing.
Sure, yeah.
Remember the Justice Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
When
Tanya
she was
Brown
asked,
Jackson.
Tanya Brown, when
The
she was
Supreme
asked that
Court
question,
Justice, yeah.
she stood there and she smiled.
Well, she said she wasn't what did she say?
A biologist.
She said, I don't know. I'm not a biologist. That's what
you don't have to be a biologist to know the answer to that question.
I know. She knew the answer to that. She didn't want to answer.
Of course she
yeah.
did.
But that was her answer is when they said, can a man have a baby? She said, I think that was the question. What? She said, I don't know. I'm not a biologist.
Yes.
That's how far the left-wing mind will go to try to deny reality.
And they're the same ones that say we should believe science or trust science when it backs their narrative.
I know. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues. So good news out of Arkansas with Sarah Huckabee-Sanders. What she said, we put that, the governor of Arkansas. And good news out of Oklahoma there. Where else can we go for good news? Chris, what else you got?
Well, I tell you what, let's do, this is a nice warm soundbite from Sarah Sanders' dad, Mike Huckabee, who, of course, is the current U.S. ambassador to Israel. He was on Washington Watch yesterday, and I'll share that podcast here in a second. But Ambassador Huckabee...
He's been on with us.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Yeah, he's been on with us. He's been on with Washington Watch.
He doesn't just like Tony Perkins. He also likes us.
But he was on Washington Watch yesterday, and they spent about 20 minutes talking about all kinds of things. And it got to the point where Tony did ask Ambassador Huckabee. I always want to call him Governor Huckabee. But Ambassador Huckabee, what are you going to do at Christmas this year? Clip 8.
He's going to go to Bethlehem on Christmas Eve. We'll be there for the midnight Christmas service at Church of the Nativity. Enjoy Manger Square. It'll be a special time. And, I hope around the world people will be praying that this will be a peaceful Christmas and that it will lead to a peaceful 2026.
I did not go to Bethlehem when I was in Israel back in August. Have you been there?
Yeah, 27 times, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I've been there a lot. Yeah. You can, that's Arab, basically, controlled area, Palestinian Authority. So they have a different kind of police than they have like in Jerusalem. But Bethlehem's only about what, Ray? 10 miles from Jerusalem?
Maybe even less than that.
From
maybe
part of
6
Jerusalem?
or 7 miles, right? Because you could walk on those roads, the dirt roads in Jesus' day. You could walk in 2 or 3 hours coming down from Jerusalem to Bethlehem. Bethlehem would be, you wouldn't exactly call it a suburb, would you? But it was on the outskirts of Jerusalem.
It's like 7 miles outside of town.
Well, yeah, from the edge of Jerusalem. Jerusalem's, that's a nice sized town. I mean, you're talking about 500,000 people.
Sure.
That live in the greater Jerusalem area. But Bethlehem, yeah, I know when we leave our hotel and go to Bethlehem, it's probably 30, 45 minutes drive down there.
Yeah, and you've got checkpoints you got to get through and stuff like that. So it's not as easy to get there today in many ways as it was 2,000 years ago. But people say when you go to Israel, how close are you to the spot where things actually happen? If you go to the Church of the Nativity, which is one of the oldest churches in Christendom. It's 1,800, 1,900 years old. I mean, been built and rebuilt, and it's massive and it's old, ancient, and all of that. And there's that grotto, Tim, where all the tour groups go down and they say this is where Jesus was born. Well, I always say to our groups, look, this might be the exact spot. But if not, don't worry. We're in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
we're in the neighborhood where Jesus was born. Could have been right here. Couldn't have been very far away.
Absolutely, that is correct. You're listening to Today's Issues. What's the next story, Chris?
Well, in another soundbite here from Huckabee, he is among the people out there that's encouraging Christians and other people in general to speak up and say something about the rise in anti-Semitism, not only here in the U.S. but worldwide. Clip 9.
It's a disgusting thing when you see the anti-Semitic activities that somewhat are an outgrowth of the attitudes and the silence. My speech teacher in high school used to tell us, silence is agreement. And when people see this Jew hatred across the world and they don't say anything and they don't do anything, you end up creating the atmosphere in which something happens like what happened in Australia. And we as Christians need to say, we're not going to be silent. We will speak up.
I brought that up because we talked about anti-Semitism with Alex yesterday and issues involving Israel. According to the media, there is a divide now in the Republican Party over the issues of Israel. And some people are saying it's because of anti-Semitism creeping into the GOP.
Okay, I read what Tucker Carlson said about this, and on the surface, it seems to make sense, sounds logical, but I want you to read what he said. Do you guys have it? And then read this is Tucker Carlson, and read what he said. Then I want to tell you where he's missing the mark. Go ahead.
Okay, this is from a Newsweek article, Tim, that you sent out last evening. This is what Carlson said. Is it America first to take money from a foreign lobby so you'll send taxpayer dollars to that country? Even the question kind of answers itself. Obviously, it isn't. That's not an attack on Israel. It's certainly not anti-Semitism, despite the efforts of many to claim that it is. It's just an obvious statement, Carlson said.
Okay, so if you take the approach that Tucker Carlson takes, and many in MAGA do, the Make America Great movement, which I want to make America great too. So, I mean, I agree with most all of what President Trump stands for. I agree with him. And Tucker Carlson and I would probably share 80%, 90% of ideas on things. However, what he's saying right there, I don't think it applies to Israel, okay? Do we, the United States federal government, we give foreign aid all over the world and have forever. And people have argued, well, we shouldn't give foreign aid at all. Okay, I'm going to differ on that one. I think we should give foreign aid, and there needs to be strings attached, all right? Now, some people would say, well, we don't have the money to give foreign aid anymore. Well, that's another discussion, okay? But I'm talking about the idea of the United States bribing people in the world to do what we want them to do. We've always done that. And that's just the way the world works, and it works to our benefit if we do it right. So to send money to Israel, that's what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. First of all, he's talking about, Tucker Carlson is saying, okay, the Israeli lobby, as it were, politically, and all foreign countries have lobbyists in Washington, D.C., all right, trying to influence our government officials and our elected politicians. All of any government of any stature at all is going to have foreign lobbyists. So does the Israeli lobby in Washington influence politicians and have forever? Yes. Do they give them money? Yes. Not give them money in their pocket, but give them money to their campaigns. Okay, so that happens. That's always happened. So what Tucker Carlson is saying, because these Israeli lobbyists give money to politicians, they then go to the House or the Senate and they vote for money to go to Israel. You see you see what I'm saying here? Mm-hmm. And he's saying that's wrong. That's not America first. Okay, I would say we need to financially, Reg, you jump in here if you want to. We need to financially support Israel. I think they do get more money than any other country in the world in terms of our financial foreign aid, because they're our strongest ally in the region. They are the closest thing we have to Western-style democracy in the Middle East. There is no such thing. So it's good to have a good... And also, the Jewish people have been persecuted over the history, and we need to support them and help them have their own country. And it's a stable, make it a stabilized region. We don't have to mistreat the Arabs or the Muslims, but we need to stand with Israel. Also, they protect the holy sites. Okay, I'm just going to say it. They protect the Christian holy sites and the Jewish holy sites. And by the way, there's a Muslim holy site that's over the Temple Mount right now. So there's no other place in the world like Israel when it comes to the religious history of people, of the amount of peoples that look to that part of the world for their heritage. Okay, so I disagree with Tucker Carlson. I agree what he's saying is true. I agree that is the way it works. He's right about that, but I don't agree that it's immoral or wrong. Listen, we pay Egypt. We give Egypt a lot of money. You know why we give Egypt a lot of money? You would say, well, what are we doing giving Egypt money? We give Egypt money so they keep the peace with Israel and in the region, and they're our friend, so that when we go to call on them for a favor or to do something in the best interest of the United States to keep the Suez Canal open, for example, we don't want Egypt to fall to the Muslim Brotherhood, which is basically like ISIS. You'd rather have a good, friendly relationship with people that are rational, as they control Egypt. So, do we have foreign aid all over the world that we use to buy people off?
Yes.
Yes, we do, and we always have, and that works out, Ray. Typically, it works out it's supposed to work out to the benefit of the United States. Go ahead.
That's exactly right. Okay, you used Egypt. Take the example of Saudi Arabia. Look, culturally, they are very different. The culture, the worldview, the predominant Islamic religion over there, very different from what we do here in the U.S., and we know there is not much, if any, real religious freedom in Saudi Arabia. But we buy oil from them. We sell them planes. Why? Because generally they're friendly to us. Generally, they have a much more open attitude toward Israel than the radical Muslims do. So
right.
Really, both Democrats and Republicans, this is not like a right-wing, left-wing issue. We've said it's in our interest to do business with Saudi Arabia. They help us keep peace in the Middle East, and they're not trying to bomb Tel Aviv. So nobody objects to that.
Yeah, short of seeing the religion of Islam go away, then that's the best approach to take, is to try to deal with those who are rational, reasonable Muslims for the sake of a national peace on earth and commerce. We need that Suez Canal open in Egypt. Okay, the United States of America does, Canada does, the West does. We need the Straits of Hormuz, or what do you call that over there? Anyway, that part of the world is critical to world commerce, and we don't need it all taken over by the radical Muslims.
And I think the political establishment in this country is still very much aware that in America, the people of the Bible, whether it's Baptist or Catholic or others, they believe in supporting Israel because they believe in supporting God's chosen people. So there is that very strong spiritual element there. I mean, Tim, you go to Israel almost every year. Ray, you've taken groups there too. There's a reason those groups want to go there. They believe in the Bible. They believe in the account of Scripture, and God's. The Jews have a special place in God's heart. Mm-hmm. So, and I always go back to Genesis 12. God's promise to Abraham: "I'll bless those that bless you, and I'll curse those that curse you." And I think the blessings that God has bestowed upon this country, a lot of it has to do, I believe, with how this country has supported Israel. And God forbid the day that we have a government that stops supporting Israel.
Okay, in 2023, the 4 countries that got the most money from us in terms of foreign aid were Ukraine, Israel, Jordan, and Egypt.
Yeah.
And Jordan and Egypt would be those governments we work with to keep the peace in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan has always been a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, isn't that right?
That's right.
King Hussein?
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway,
and Jordan is living peacefully side by side with Israel.
They are. Absolutely. So, and we've given a lot of money down through the decades to the Palestinians.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we did.
I mean, a lot of money. In fact, one time I was talking to a gentleman in Israel who was an Arab or Palestinian, and he was one of our tour guides. He was a Christian man, but he was an Arab. And he said, listen, he was talking about his own, the Palestinian people over there, PLO at the time, Yasser Arafat.
Mm-hmm.
Remember after Yasser Arafat died? Now, he was the leader of the Palestinian people there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What did he die, 15 years ago or so, something like that, Ray? Do you remember something like that?
Yeah.
Anyway, after he died, they found all those millions of dollars in Swiss bank accounts.
Yeah.
But anyway, this gentleman who was our tour guide at the time, he said to me, listen, had Yasser Arafat spent the money that he was given by countries all over the world to improve the living conditions of the Palestinian people, we would have had roads built, we'd have had hospitals and businesses and university. In other words, he was saying all the money that came in here to support the people, basically it went in the pockets of the politicians and Yasser Arafat was chief among them,
yes.
And did not go to improve the living conditions of the very people that the money was given to support.
Yeah.
So that's the history of that. All right, Chris, thank you.
Thank you.
And Fred and I will return with, and Ray will be with us, and we will be back in a couple minutes with Steve Paisley Jordahl. Stay with us.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
Where can you access instruction and inspiration from scholars, apologists, authors, preachers, and activists to deepen your Christian understanding? You could enroll in seminary, but a better way might be the AFA Cultural Institute. You'll find a collection of more than 50 informative inspirational video lectures with more to come. Visit stream.afa.net to experience the AFA Cultural Institute.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
For American Family News, I'm Chris Woodward. If you're flying or driving today, be patient and be careful. Today is another busy day for travel, with millions of Americans trying to get somewhere for Christmas. Fox reporter Matt Finn has more.
TSA says it expects 44.3 million end-of-the-year travelers between last Friday, December 19th, through January 4th. U.S. airlines are expecting an average of 2.9 million passengers a day.
Traveling with family, it's a lot. We fight, but we love each other, so it's worth it.
Actually, it's been really smooth, so no complaints. Normally, I would drive. But we didn't want to chance the weather, so the flight has worked out great.
Actually, I'm really not worried. I don't know if it's going to be as crazy as everybody thinks.
Now, AAA says many more people will travel by car. A projected 1.9 million Americans will hit the road for the end-of-year trips, an increase of about 2% compared to last year. Why? Perhaps because gas prices are lower. For the first time in 4 years, the national average dropped below $3 a gallon this month, according to AAA.
Well, someone keeping tabs on travel is Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. He's also doing something about illegal immigrants driving big rigs. Duffy said governors can help.
We're not going to tolerate it. These governors, look out for the American people who are, this Christmas season, they're on the road, they're traveling with their families, they're going to see their loved ones. Make sure you keep them safe. That is more important than putting an illegal who's not qualified in an 80,000-pound rig and potentially endangering people's lives and ruining Christmas in their family forever.
Advocates for illegal immigrants say they need jobs, and many industries say they're facing a shortage of workers. But opponents of illegal immigration say they should not be in the U.S. Barry Weiss continues to leave her mark at CBS News, this time pulling a 60-minute segment because it lacked balance. Here's AFN's Steve Jordahl.
The piece was hours from airing when CBS editor-in-chief Barry Weiss pulled it from the 60 Minutes lineup. It was about the El Salvadoran prison dangerously violent illegal aliens are sent. Media Research Center's Bill D'Agostino says correspondent Sharon Alfonsi took shots at the Trump White House, but didn't include anyone from the administration for balance.
Honestly, I think it was objectively a fair critique. There was no commentary from Stephen Miller, no quote from Stephen Miller in there that she wanted.
He says it's journalism 101.
If we're going to run a piece like lambasting this administration for how they handled this whole situation, then we have to at least let the White House have a quote.
He says this isn't the first time Alfonsi's name has come up in connection with a hit piece.
The woman whose piece this was, Sharon Alfonsi, has a bit of a checkered past with 60 Minutes, basically editing out whenever Republicans tried to speak their piece.
D'Agostino says Weiss is bringing much-needed change to the Tiffany network, but there's a long way to go.
It's good that she is forcing them to adhere to journalistic standards, but I mean, it's not as though CBS is not still employing a massive slew of people who are deeply interested in running pieces about, sob story, basically pieces about look at how mean the Trump administration's deportation agenda is.
I'm Steve Jordahl.
Well, he may be serving overseas now, but U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee still has big plans for Christmas. Huckabee made these comments on Washington Watch.
Our family's going to go to Bethlehem on Christmas Eve. We'll be there for the midnight Christmas service at Church of the Nativity. Enjoy Manger Square. It'll be a special time. And, I hope around the world people will be praying that this will be a peaceful Christmas and that it will lead to a peaceful 2026.
In final news, the Kansas City Chiefs are moving to the other Kansas City. The NFL franchise has agreed to move from Missouri to Kansas, where it will play in a new $3 billion dome. That's all my time for now. Find more news on AFN.net. Follow us on X, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our free daily email news briefs on afn.net. Thanks for listening.
The American Family Association's mission is to inform, equip, and activate individuals to strengthen the moral foundations of our culture. Our goal is to be a leading organization in biblical worldview training for cultural transformation. We stand on the biblical truth that all human beings, including the unborn, are created in the image of God and are endowed by Him with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Thank you for standing with the American Family Association. Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildman, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Thanks for listening to AFR. Our email address is comments@afr.net, comments@afr.net. I'm Tim with Fred Jackson and Ray Pritchard, raised in Florida. We're in Mississippi. And joining us in studio, by we in Mississippi, I mean Fred and I here. And Steve is also.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Steve Paisley Jordahl joins us. How you doing, Brother Steve?
I'm well. It's a good day here in Mississippi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ray is showing us the difference in time zones. He's having lunch right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly right.
It's 12:05 where you live.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm having a ham sandwich and Coke Zero.
Hey, I like Coke Zero. I like Coke Zero myself
too.
What's the difference between Coke Zero and Diet Coke?
The taste.
Yeah.
Oh, is that?
Different sugars, different fake sugars.
I think Coke Zero is better than Diet Coke.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. I was a Coca-Cola guy.
Okay.
And then I got to be my age, and the Coca-Colas put on, what is it? Just look on the side of a can. What is it, 200 calories?
Mm-hmm.
For a straight-up Coke.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, with just cane sugar or whatever you call it.
This one has zero.
So
Zero
that's why
calories.
they call it Coke Zero. It's got 0 calories.
There you go.
That's right.
So you can drink what we in the South call a Coke. Everything's generic, called a Coke.
That's right.
And you go to other parts of the country, it's called soda.
Right.
Or pop.
Or pop. Soda or pop, or in many parts of the South, any soft drink's called a Coke.
Yeah, what kind of Coke would you like? I'd take a Dr. Pepper.
I know. I don't know how that happened, but that's just the way it is. But the Coke Zero, you asked me a question, didn't you, Fred? You didn't expect a 2-minute dissertation on Coke, but I'm going to give you an answer. So, because when you switch from Coke to Diet Coke, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Raise your hand if you.
No, I'm with you.
Because it tastes so funny. You're like going, I don't like this aftertaste. I want to go back to Coke.
Mm-hmm.
But then your pants start stretching, and you say, I'm gonna have to give up the taste, but I still want to keep the Coke taste.
Okay.
So
all right, but Chuck, let me interrupt you and ask this question: have you ever had Diet Pepsi?
Let me finish 1 second, and then we'll get to the Diet Pepsi.
Then I got a question after that.
Okay, because this is important stuff.
This is right.
If you look in the book of Revelation, this is covered.
It's right there, chapter 17.
Yeah, it's covered. How to deal with soft drinks in the end times.
That's right.
So, Fred, to answer your question, Fred, a Coke Zero, you get the best of both worlds.
Okay.
You get 0 calories, and you get the taste of a Coke and not a Diet Coke. Does that help?
Okay, that helps a lot.
But I like that. I've gotten used. You get, it's like anything else. You get used to it. I've adapted the taste for Diet Coke. My wife, she prefers a Diet Coke over a Coke Zero. So anyway, a lot of people are in that position. All right, go ahead, Ray. What were you going to say?
I put a quick word in.
For Pepsi.
Well, for not for. I don't drink Pepsi, but Diet Pepsi is good. I actually like that. But do you ever go into a restaurant where they will have the I guess they call it the Mexican Coke with the different kind of sugar
I don't think that's legal.
Isn't cane sugar from Mexico?
Cane sugar, right? Cane sugar. I mean, I've just heard it called Mexican Coke but they import it.
Now, we're bombing ships for that reason. You get your Mexican Coke coming in here. I don't think we want to be promoting that, Ray. Really.
Hey, but I'm feeling no pain.
What you're talking about? That's what President Trump's talking
Coke,
about. Like,
it's Coke in a bottle with. Help me out here, Steve.
Steve knows this.
Fast.
Steve, what are we talking about here?
Mexican Coke? I was researching
Go
some news. But yeah, the Mexican Coke, it's just a different sugared Coke. I haven't been able to drink any of sugared diet things for years since I was diagnosed with diabetes. So
what do you drink?
Diet Coke. And I tell you what, I am used to the Diet Coke taste, and I kind of prefer, actually, I changed my mind. I prefer the Diet Coke taste to the Coke Zero taste. But we got a Dr. Pepper Zero out in the lobby here that when I'm going for a soft drink, that's what I get. So it does. It tastes a lot more.
Dr. Pepper Zero?
It's the diet version of the sugared drink that tastes just like it.
They say that stuff they use for sugar substitutes is bad for you.
Everything's bad for you.
Well, I'm with you.
That's a general rule.
I'm kind of into sarcasm like you are on this.
I don't even know how sarcastic that.
Well, maybe it isn't sarcasm. It's a realistic view of the world. Is what it is. Ray.
Thank you.
RFK Jr. has made us feel guilty about everything.
Well,
you're right.
I don't think is it saccharin? What is it called?
You got.
Anyway, it's sugar.
Like Nutella, but everybody knows Nutella is good for you.
Sugar substitute.
Yeah.
Hey, you can also buy these
stevia. That's one.
I got stevia in my car because he was a great singer.
Yeah.
That guy. He was blind.
He
was a wonder.
Stevia.
He was a wonder.
He was a wonder.
Wait a minute. We're talking about two different things.
I think we might be.
Not stevia wonder. We're talking about stevia, the sugar substitute.
Uh-huh.
Now that's supposed to be okay for you right there.
Yeah,
I got a little squirt. You put it in your iced tea, and or water. You put it in water, and it flavors it. Go ahead.
I go with honey.
In what?
In when I make my coffee.
Like real honey?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like 5-10 seconds to drip off the spoon, honey?
Well, you can. We have local stores here.
Okay.
Local honey.
Yeah.
Bee producers.
Yeah.
And they say it's good for allergies, local allergies.
You talking about you put that in your, but you don't put that in a soft drink. You put
I put it in the coffee.
In coffee, okay.
Coffee, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Wow.
Anyway, we got all this started because Fred said Ray's having lunch.
I just saw Ray having a sandwich.
We can see Ray on a video screen that people listening to us can't see, and he's having a ham sandwich and a diet.
And having a good time.
And a Coke Zero.
That's right. Feeling no pain, friends.
By the way, the new set you've got there, I know, again, people can't see you like we can, but you got a new set. Is that so you can do interviews?
That's interviews and do some Bible teaching and
Bible teaching.
People
can watch
KeepBelieving.com?
That's it. That's
KeepBelieving.com.
Yeah.
That's us.
All right, you're listening to today's issues. And now that we've covered some real deep stuff here, we're going to pitch it over to Steve for the news.
I just saw this, and I think I have to mention it. So Russell Brand has been on the kind of the circuit, the conservative circuit. He has made a profession for Christ. He opened Amfest with prayer, and everything you see from him lately has been about God and about his relationship with Jesus.
Amfest is the Charlie Kirk event.
Right. So Russell Brand has come out very publicly as a Christian, as a Christ follower. He was just charged with new rape and sexual assault offenses from 2009, well before he became a Christian or he claimed Christ, and he is going to be facing those charges. So prayer for Russell Brand. Everything I see about him,
you don't know if this stuff is true when it comes to celebrities of all stripes, because first of all, you got a lot of gold diggers out there, and you got a lot of people who, I don't mean, it sounds like I'm disparaging people who were sexually assaulted. I'm not, in reality. I'm just saying, you always have to wonder when it's a rich, powerful person, are they being targeted by women who just want money and they make a false claim against somebody?
He's been through a couple of these that were false. These are new charges. They are alleged to have taken place between 7 February 2009 and March 2009. Relates to one woman. The new count of sexual assault is alleged to have been taking place between 31 August and 2009. I'm sorry, in December 2009. Relates to a separate woman.
How do you even go back that far? That's like they did with President Trump. They went back like 30 years to some claim a woman made in in a department store or something.
I want to say this, though. Russell Brand was a very different man then. He was very worldly. And I
know.
I don't know whether there's any, like you, I don't know if there's anything to this charge, but what I am asking is that the believers out there pray for who I believe is their brother in Christ.
What do you pray for?
Pray for justice. Pray that he honors Christ through the process.
Okay. Anyway, Russell Brand's he was a comedian / actor from Britain. If you don't know the name, you've seen him. You've seen him on TV.
BBC has been going hard with this story this morning.
So he's been accused. He's been accused by multiple women back.
Some of these charges go way back.
Years ago.
And he has faced these charges and been vindicated from similar charges before.
I just wonder how do you go back? Like, it seems like it could be a statute of limitations. You go back 30 years like they did against Trump to find this woman because he did so. She claimed he sexually assaulted her. Trump, remember that?
Yeah.
And you're going like, how in the world can somebody prove or disprove something from that long ago? And why do you wait this long to bring it up?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Anyway.
All right. You're listening to today's issue. Next story.
You guys talked about Sarah Sanders and her letter to the Freedom from Religion Foundation in the first hour. I want to contrast the the conservative government that we have within Arkansas and Washington and everything. This is a statement that came out from the White House on December 17th, 2021, from the Biden White House. It was part of a transcript of a news conference. This is what they said, and this was in the middle of the pandemic. Omicron was what they thought was going to take down. They said, and Merry Christmas, everyone. We are intent on not letting Omicron disrupt work and school for the vaccinated. You've done the right thing, and we'll get through this. For the unvaccinated, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death for yourselves, your families, and the hospitals you may soon overwhelm.
Who said that?
That's the Biden White House from 2021.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the way that they chose to celebrate Christmas. Just want to say there's a difference.
I think that was Biden himself, if I remember correctly. He gave a speech saying that.
I remember.
Talking about that. Yeah, that whole episode was a sad day, metaphorically, for our country, and the way that whole COVID vaccine was pushed. Like, listen, I didn't have a problem with people getting it if they want to. It should have been voluntary, though. But the people who were getting it were like morally superior,
as that statement
to people who didn't want to get it. Because they felt like it was rushed to market. We didn't know what it did to people, and then people were going, "What do you?" I remember and everybody listening to me had an experience kind of like this. Probably, it was that Christmas, one of those COVID Christmases. Didn't we have like two of them? Or the first one? Anyway, the first one. Okay, the COVID hit in March, and then by that Christmas, they were saying they were discouraging Christmas family gatherings. Remember that? The CDC was, everybody, we don't need to get in groups that are super spreaders and all
Making
that.
Christmas church services illegal.
So my mother-in-law was on the phone with another family member. My mother-in-law passed earlier this year, but back then the other family member is going like, "Hey, is everybody going to have the vaccine shot?" And my mother-in-law says, "Well, no, they're not, because some of them don't want to get it." And then the other family member says, "Oh, so they think they're smarter than the experts." You know, that's the kind of reaction you got from a lot of people, Ray, back during that. If you didn't want to get it, you were a dumb bumpkin. Who were putting people at risk, only to learn a few months later that the vaccine doesn't keep you from getting it or doesn't keep you from spreading it. So anyway, go ahead.
So what did we go through all that for? And we've talked about it on the show. I got the vaccine and at least one of the follow-up pills, just because in the beginning
you didn't know.
We didn't know.
You're gonna die if you don't get it. So they're scaring older people, and not just
and if you're up at that point, let's see, in 2020, I was late 60s.
Yeah.
So you're in that red zone anyway, right? So a lot of seniors did it just because we were warned about it, and we didn't know what we didn't know. If you said to me, would I do it now? I'm not going to say no, but I'll tell
Right.
you, I'll tell you, I would think a lot harder,
Right.
and do a lot more research, right? I'd be a lot more
Yeah.
skeptical now.
Yeah. And I think most of us are like, if you want to get the vaccine, go ahead. But let everybody be free to choose.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. And if we
Flips. Ivermectin. Remember that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know one person that it saved their life. I know
Yes.
them personally.
Really?
Ivermectin did.
Yeah. Well, was it President Trump? He was treated with ivermectin, and the media was just mocking
Yeah.
him. The science
Right.
community was just mocking him. And lo and
Dewormer.
and
You're a
lo and-
dewormer.
yeah, horse pills.
Horse pill.
Yeah,
You believe it? You're a flat earther.
yeah, and lo and behold, it helped
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Oh, you just did that to trigger us, didn't
I
you,
know.
Steve?
I love
you
that.
just
Sit
threw,
back and watch.
You just threw that.
Well, and do you remember too how all the pastors, good people, really
Yeah.
good people,
Yeah.
good conservative, even almost every church in America shut
Yeah.
down for a little bit.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I'll say this: in traveling around the country in the last 5 years and talking to really good pastors who, for various reasons, you didn't want to infect your congregation.
I know. Yeah.
Right?
That's
You
true.
didn't want to do it. Every single pastor I know, including some from very, very large congregations, they've unanimously said, we are never shutting our church down.
Yeah.
Again, we are not going to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, John MacArthur, California, was charged.
Right.
Pastor John MacArthur.
Yeah. Jenna Ellis,
Representative.
our own Jenny
Right.
Ellis,
Yes.
defended him in court.
Yes, and he won that case
He won.
eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. You're listening to today's issue. Next story, Steve. Don't do that to us again.
Okay.
Don't just throw out COVID memories and say watch Tim, Fred, and Ray heads spin off their shoulders.
We were talking about
Trigger.
ham sandwiches and
Let's
Diet
talk-
Pepsi, and all of a sudden,
Let's
what?
talk about California and the people leaving. There's a lady named Anna Kasparian who is one of the hosts of The Young Turks. The Young Turks is a very liberal podcast with Cenk Uygur is one of the hosts, and they were devastated during the election when Trump won. It was really interesting to watch.
It was fun to watch.
But Anna Kasparian lives in L.A., and she's taking note about the homeless situation there and how much money L.A. spent on the homeless situation and how much effect it had. And she's been red-pilled. Listen to Cut 11.
We spent $13 billion in Los Angeles alone last year to combat homelessness. You want to know where that money went? That money went to these trash nonprofits who have a bunch of executives making $500,000 a year. You're working for a nonprofit dealing with homelessness. That's my money. That's my parents' money. Okay? That is the hardworking people of California paying incredibly high taxes that go to what? So yeah, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And honestly, just experiencing what I've seen on the ground in California has made me question a lot about left-wing ideology.
Well, she woke up.
Yeah. Woke up. The way you used that, I see what you did there. Woke up. Woke up to. Anyway.
I did some math.
Okay.
L.A. in 2025 got rid of, they reduced the homeless population, I should say, by 1,553 people. They took 1,553 people off the street, so their numbers.
What'd they do with them?
I don't know. They may well. Listen to this. They spent $13 billion. That works out to $8.37 million per homeless person. It costs them $8.37 million.
You could buy them a home for that.
I know. I know.
A nice place.
So
Even in LA.
Anna Kasparian has a point. That's a lot of money with very little effect.
Yeah, best she's saying is it's a industry, the homeless industry. Is what she's saying. She's saying a lot of the money that's supposed to go to help people is not going to help them. It's going to support those quote nonprofit agencies and all their salaries and everything like that.
And it's another one of California's.
Yeah, that's how liberalism works,
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
And that's why liberalism doesn't work for governments, because they become bloated with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but things are much better in Minneapolis.
Are they, Fred?
Yeah.
Why, Fred? Tell us.
$9 billion
right.
of taxpayers' money. Federal,
Fraud.
Yeah, fraud.
Tell us how that game worked.
How that game worked? Well, that again, we're going back to COVID.
Yeah.
When they were writing checks like there was no tomorrow, anybody wanted it. And it's not just Minneapolis, but that's the one that's in the news right now. But all kinds of people, dishonest people all over the country, created companies on paper. And they applied to the government. Hey, we had to shut down our company because of COVID. Send us money so we can give it to our employees. And they were just rubber stamping those things up in Washington. And people were making and getting.
They discovered a ton of fraud in it was a Somali.
Most of the people arrested so far in Minneapolis have been Somalis, including groups there. Remember, one of the most disgusting things was they applied for federal dollars because they were helping kids with autism. Except there was no kids that were helped with autism. None.
When they did an audit, they discovered the company didn't even do anything.
No. And one of the most disturbing things is that one of these phony companies that were set up, one of these agencies, sending money to terrorist groups in Somalia.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah. All right. Next story, Steve.
All right. Good news out of Nigeria. The Nigerian government has secured the release of 130 Catholic kids who were kidnapped by jihadis back in, I believe it was November. And Nigerian authorities have secured the release.
Was it? Wait, you telling me that who was it? Mormons or who was it doing the kidnapping?
Yeah,
or was it?
it was
the
Mormons.
Amish?
It was no. It was ISIS. It was
the Muslim extremists.
Yes,
well, that's rare.
I know.
Yeah,
Boko Haram in Nigeria. They had kidnapped these kids, and they've found 130 of them and released them into captivity. So
well, good. Praise the Lord for that. Hey, by the way, related to that was good news that I don't know if Chris mentioned it last hour. I don't remember, but I sent that story around about how many children that the Trump administration has found were missing or trafficked in the last year. Do you guys have that story?
I do have it.
Well over 125,000.
129,143.
Yeah.
Okay, just read the first couple paragraphs of that, Fred, if you would. Do you have it? Or Stevie, if you have it up, go ahead.
The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, and Department of Health and Human Services have located more located more than 129,143 unaccompanied migrant children during 2025, according to an official. Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, wrote on X that under the Trump administration, the agencies had identified these children, many of whom had previously been lost or untracked. She added that efforts would continue until every child was accounted for.
How many children?
129,143.
You know, we remember when Biden was letting the whole world come into our country, which is one of the reasons the Democrats lost the presidential election. Well, a lot of those people that were coming into the country were unaccompanied minors. Because adults, I know this sounds terrible, but not a lot, I don't know how many, some of the adults were using the children to get into the U.S., and then they needed to stay together, right?
Yeah.
But then after they got into the interior of the U.S., they abandoned the children. I think this is what happened.
There was also a lot of trafficking of children purposefully.
Yes, that's true. But anyway, praise the Lord, that many children have been found and are not in the captivity of the smugglers or the human traffickers any longer.
Horrible. And this story was going on and continued through the Biden years. I remember scenes from the border during the Biden years where these bad people on the other side of the border, they were actually throwing kids over the wall. They would climb the wall, throw them down, because they knew American officials would take them and look after them.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are out of time. Thank you, Steve.
My pleasure.
Fred, Ray, thank you.
You bet.
Okay, folks, remember, we're taking a break from our shows starting Wednesday night at midnight. So
tonight at midnight.
Oh, tonight at midnight. So tonight at midnight, we flip over to Christmas music for 3 days. So the next Today's Issues show will be Monday. Okay, we'll be live back here Monday, but otherwise we're going to have our offices and studios will be closed so that our staff can celebrate Christmas with their families like you are going to do with yours. Again, we appreciate you listening. to American Family Radio, and we hope you have a wonderful Christmas celebration. And be safe and take care, and we'll see you on Monday.